When I went to my local family video to look at which Wii U games I could rent, it was kind of a hard decision. While they did have quite a few Wii U games considering the size of its library, trying to pick which one to rent was hard, as either the games were available on other platforms or were more installments and long-running franchises known for where if you play one of them, you've basically played them all, like Pikmin 3, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, or New Super Luigi U. However, one of them stuck out, and as I had friends telling me how amazing it was, the game in question, Super Mario 3D World for the Nintendo Wii U. Now, I had never played this game or the similar DS version, and it's been a while since I've ever touched a 3D Mario game. However, I've seen people say various things about this game, talking about how amazing it is, and how it's an amazing Wii U game. So, I decided to attempt to try this game out, and I rented the game for a few dollars at Family Video. However, the first sign of the true nature of this game came from the back of the game packaging. On the back, next to the Nintendo Network symbols, was a message that the game supported offline multiplayer / co-op only. In an era of online co-op games from TF2's Man vs. Machine mode to Left 4 Dead 2 to Halo 3 to Call of Duty Zombies or Extinction modes to even other games like beat-em-ups like Castle Crashers or games like Dead Rising or games like, there are so many games. Even Dynasty Warriors has it now. And that's a long-running series with tons of installments. When even that has it, this is a bad sign. It already shows what's yet to come. That this game stuck in the past. But there's nothing wrong with trying to play this game, right? I mean, after all, it was only like a $4 rental. What could possibly go wrong? So the first thing you start to notice when you play this game is that the art style is extremely generic. The game uses the same generic 3D old-school Mario art style you've seen ever since the DS era with games like New Super Mario Bros. Despite being toony, the art style looks blunt and generic like the same Mario game you've been playing since the Nintendo Wii. Instead of even trying like Super Mario Galaxy did with its graphics at least, or even Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, which, say what you want about them, but they stood out compared to this game just looks flat out generic. The environments feel the same as New Super Mario Bros., along with the settings picked from the levels and the level designs themselves, to the point where if you showed a random person this, they might think it looks a lot like New Super Mario Bros. The only difference between the old and the new is that Super Mario 3D World has early 360 game style bloom, when abusing bloom was considered cool back in 2006 and 2007. And keep in mind, this game also runs at 720p in a console that's supposedly in the same generation as the Xbox One and the PS4. And keep in mind, those other consoles, when they do something 720p, normally they're doing a lot more and running a game a lot more advanced than a Mario game of all things. At least the frame rate is stable 60 FPS, but keep in mind this game is not pushing very much. It's just a generic Mario game. And like I said, it has the same generic and bland art style you've seen for a long time in Mario games. In fact, this game reminds me with its art style of Sonic Lost World. And I don't mean that as a good thing, I mean that in a bad way. A real bad way. Because it looks bland and generic as well. However, since apparently nowadays you can make your game look like an Apple II game, and as long as it has gameplay people somehow care about, it'll get by, let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay is straight up trash as well. Imagine the worst of New Super Mario Bros., modern Sonic games, and 3D Mario thrown into a blender for about 60 seconds. The formula is the exact same. Generic filler story about how someone was kidnapped and how Mario and his friends have to save the day from the evil Bowser, a world where you can run around before each level, a timer, hidden areas here, red coins, some green stars which you collect to unlock more levels and stuff, the normal. However, with Super Mario 3D World, they essentially took the bland New Super Mario Bros. And made it 3D. Everything you hated about the New Super Mario Bros. Series is back, and worse than ever. The controls are crap, and the platforming is floaty. You'll move the analog stick around to try to see how deep your character it is, except it doesn't work so well with the levels and how you have to look where your character's at. You have to look where your shadow is at, and especially when you have the levels with the backgrounds that blend in just like Sonic Generations, you will get confused a lot, as it does not work very well with the level design. You'll get confused, accidentally bump into enemies, and die a lot trying to get used to the levels. However, if you die a lot from the inconsistent difficulty carried over, don't fret. You'll be given items to assist you if you die a lot, now available on a t-shirt at Hot Topic. The item variety is the same, mushroom, fire flower, along with several fursuits, and yeah, let's not go there. But yeah, like I said earlier, when you get if you die a lot, you'll get a free item like here. The game just spawned a raccoon fursuit after I died so much. And there are other ways in certain areas in the game where you can actually farm lives as well, along with bonus stages that hand out coins, just like in the other new Super Mario Bros. Games. So if you are struggling with the controls, the game can make itself a lot easier to you, despite this inconsistent difficulty and the later predictably harder stages. And of course, like I said, you just like the other Mario games, you can hold an item, so in case you get hit, you can just push the minus button and you'll get a free item. While you can twist the camera around when you're going through a stage, all this does is highlight the bad level design and the confusingness of it. You can also only move your camera on a fixed angle. So for example, if you try to turn your camera like you can in, let's just say, a first-person shooter or other modern game, you can't do that. You can only switch between a few fixed camera angles. And keep in mind, this is the kind of stuff you'd expect to see on, say, a PS1, not a modern game from 2014. But anyways, let's get to the other parts of the game. Another sign of the past is the fact that the game still uses the dated life system, despite the easy difficulty when there's no reason to, especially as the life system is a carryover for when games were shorter, and where false difficulty was made for you to pop in more quarters, or to boost the life of, let's just say, a Nintendo game that cost $60, but in reality, if it was released today, would be criticized for being far too short. The game also features a co-op mode, one player on a Wii U gamepad or Wii remotes, and several using Wii remotes with nunchucks, classic controllers, or expensive Wii U Pro controllers. All of these people can play together, so if you somehow don't have Halo 3, Call of Duty, Smash Bros., Mario Kart Double Dash, or some other games you normally play with your friends when they come over, you can play this game. However, there is no online co-op in an era where online co-op is standard, like I mentioned earlier, so if you don't have friends willing to play this game in real life, you can't play the co-op function of this game. The music in this game might as well be the last thing I'll touch on because it's bland and forgettable. Unless you hum every single song from the Mario series in your sleep, you won't be remembering a single track from this game at all. It's probably the most forgettable Mario soundtrack I've heard yet, and is a reflection of the state Nintendo is in now, to the point where all they have to do is cash in on the past. Back when Mario was still relevant, back when they could still sell the Wii, back when they actually had third-party support with the Super Nintendo. That time is gone now, and yet Nintendo is still trying to cash in on that time. So my thoughts on this game? More of the same from modern Nintendo. This is yet another mediocre game, only worth a buy if you're a die-hard Mario fan and must play every single Mario game out there. Other than that, this game at most is worth only a rental at Family Video, if at all. There is nothing memorable, remarkable, or fun about this game, other than it's yet another Mario game from Nintendo. And the fact that Nintendo made this game instead of games people have been asking for, such as, let's just say, a new F-Zero, a new Star Fox, a new Metroid that isn't going to be a total flop. You get what I'm saying? Instead of games people ask for like that, the fact that they made this game of all games, which is instead of like a 3D Mario with a little bit of effort put into it, even then, instead making this game. That just shows how Nintendo is nowadays. They'll play off nostalgia. They'll try to make their games feel like they're stuck in the past. They'll make their games as generic as possible. I mean, even the older Mario games were more memorable than this. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. And please, there are better games out there than this. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.